Okay, so I've got in front of me here a planner. This is the one that we use here at Divine Equine. And this is for the week before the show. What I do each day leading up into the show to have the horse ready. What I personally do is a little different to what I'm going to lay out here. I'm looking at this as you haven't got any of the presentation side of things prepared for the horse, be it clipping, pulling the mane, dyeing the tail, clipping the face out, those kind of things. I tend to like to have the manes always pulled. I also like to have the faces always clipped. That's just myself. I find it is a lot easier just to keep on top of than to have to redo every time. And the faces then get a nice little like tan up, so you don't have to use pigmented colour. You can just use oil. But for the purpose of this, I am coming at it with the fact that you haven't done any of that. So, the Saturday before, don't need to worry about a time. Let's just go though, in the time space. Let's write Saturday, say it's the 20th. And I'm going to body clip, and do the face, right? I then got a little spot there that I can then go tick and done. So Saturday before, I am body clipping and I'm clipping its face. Come the Monday, so the next day, no, not the next day, 2 days later, Monday, so it would be the 22nd, I'm going to pull the mane and dye the tail. Or stain remove. Okay, so Monday, pull the mane, dye the tail, or stain remove if it's a grey. It may seem like a lot to do in one day, but it's honestly not. It is quite simple. If I'm dyeing the tail, I will put the dye on the tail. While it's processing, go and pull the mane on that horse. Then once you finish pulling the mane, the tail will be done processing and you can wash it out. Same with stain remover. Pop the stain remover in, go pull the mane, and then the tail will be ready and you can wash it out, and 2 birds, 1 stone. Easy, done. Tuesday, 23rd. Oh, RD. We're going to be doing the rugs. So I'm going to get my rugs organised. I'm going to wash them if they need washing. And I'm going to check my tack box. Make sure that I have everything in my tack box. Make sure that I don't need any chalk or brushes or combs, bands, thread, needles, etc., etc. I have everything I need for the day of the show and to get ready for the show. Tuesday is my day that I run around and get that. Wash the rugs, have them ready for the Friday. Pretty self-explanatory there. Wednesday, I go through and I would pack the float. So float and pack. So wash your float if you want to wash your float, pack it, stick a bale of hay in there. Make sure there's water buckets. Make sure that I've got towels in there. I've got, like I say, a canvas rug or a woolen rug, just something in case it comes over cold. Winter, you're going to need a lot more heavier rugs than summer. Same with wet season versus dry season. Make sure you got everything in there that can be in there. If not, it's going to have to get packed on Friday. Just, basically half pack your float. It's half the job done. Wash it if you want to wash it. Chuck some sawdust in there. Just throw a hay bag in there so it's ready to go. Thursday. Thursday is a bit of a leftovers day. If there's anything that needs to get finished off from the last few days, go and finish that. If you didn't get something, over left. No, it's leftovers, Alice. So if you've got to go back to a feed store and get more feed, if you need more hay, if you couldn't get something from one shop and you ran out of time, go to another. Yeah, if you didn't have time to do a full stain remove or you want to do another stain remover, go and do that. If you didn't have time to fully pull the mane or you had to stop because the horse was getting a bit upset, go back on Thursday, finish pulling it off. Just, yeah, any leftovers that you have, just go back and finish that off. And then that brings us to Friday. Friday is kind of the bigger day. So you've got to plait and wash, etc. And my routine that I have with the horses is just obviously what I like to do. And I've used the same kind of routine for a lot of years on a lot of horses. And I can get this done on a horse basically in an hour. Kind of just set aside an hour per horse. And I'll bring the horse out. I will trim up their face, their legs, their tail, anything extra that just needs another go over with the clippers. I'll bring them out. I would do that. I will then lunge them. Even the ridden horses, I lunge the day before. If I've only got one horse going, then I'll hop on and ride it. If I'm got a full day of work that day, I won't. I'll just lunge it. If I have multiple horses to get ready, again, I will just lunge it. It just makes life a lot easier. And it's just, the time, like I said, I can get it done all within an hour and move on to the next horse. After lunging, then you got to wash them. Get in there, good scrub, and then they get rugged up. At this point, I don't plait them. I then go on to the next horse. If there is another horse to go on to. If there's not another horse to go on to, I would then go on to something else, whether it's to clean out boxes, whether it's to finish packing the float, whether it's to make up feeds for the night, just anything to give that mane some time to dry and to give the horse some time to themselves. Because after you've gone and done all this to them, they're going to, start to kind of get a bit fidgety and be like, what am I doing? You've had me out for a while now. Pop them back in the box, pop them back in the yard, or tie them up with a hay bag. Moral of the story, I like to plait on a dry mane. So anything that I can do to let that mane dry, give that horse a little break, let them have a drink of water, a bit of food, I'll go and do something else. And then I come back and I will go down the line and I will plait up all the horses and I'd finish packing. So that's basically my week leading into the show. Body clip the weekend before if they need body clipping. Pull the mane, dye the tail, stain remove, 2 birds, 1 stone. Wash the rugs, check my tack box, pack the float, wash the float, any leftovers. And then the Friday I go trim, lunge, wash, rug them up. And then I go back through and plait everyone and finish packing. And then that takes us on into the Saturday, the morning of the show. So, and just a quick little rundown too of the morning of the show. I would essentially get up, feed horses. I would then get on to any tail braids and boot them. I don't like to double handle. So the horses that I have to braid the tails while they're out and I've braided up their tail, I'll also put their false tail in too. Falsey goes in with the braided tail. And I would put their boots on. And then they'd go back in the box. Or then they'd stay tied up, essentially. And then I'd go on to the next horse. Or they'd stay tied up in their box. Dependent on the horse, dependent on how they are and how many I've got to do. And same with horses with clipped tails. If they've got a clipped tail, I would put the falsie in and I would boot them. Falsies, tail braids, if you're traveling to the show the morning of, do it all at home. I find it so much easier. And then once you're there, you don't have to hang around the back of them. If they're particularly young ones, if they're a bit antsy at the show, you then aren't hanging around the back of them to get kicked or to stress everyone out. Boots go on while you're doing something with them. And then it's just, finish packing. Finish getting ready, basically. Any hard feeds you want to take. Any gear, your saddles, your bridles that have to go in last minute. Turn out horses at home. Load up and leave. That's basically it. I don't do anything to their legs at home. One, they're wearing boots to the competition, so if I put any makeup on their legs, then they are going to have it on their boots. Isn't great. Oh, that's another thing. Black legs, I dye at home. Up here, dye tail, legs. If I've got a horse that has all black legs, I will just dye them so that I don't have to sit there and do all this black leg makeup on 4 long white legs. To me, it's just easier. And I actually really like the look of it. And it just means that on some cases, you just got to go around and blend the top of it above the knee and the hock. I find it a lot easier. So there's a little tip for you there. Dye your black legs. Do a patch test though. Just check that your horse isn't going to be super reactive to dyes. Or just go ahead and get the horse show colour non-ammonia dye. Yeah, white legs. You'll see when I actually go through and show you what my presentation is and like kind of how I go about it. You'll see what I do with that. I don't do any like cover white paste or like liquid white. I don't like the look of it personally. I like the more natural look and just a nice white sock. I don't like the plastered black to white look. Again, it's just personal taste. So I use a silicone spray the night before, and I would probably put a bit on the white legs again before they go on the float. And then at the show, I would then spot clean anything that needs to be spot clean before I put chalk on. And that's basically it for the legs, really. If they have sanded hooves, then that's just clear lacquer. If they don't have sanded hooves, which a lot of people don't tend to do for the derivatives, then they just have the blacket. Actually, that's another thing that got left off. Where is it? Thursday, sand hooves. Send those hooves back if they need to be sanded. Again, though, this is something that I say that I like to kind of just keep on top of so that the week before we don't have a massive list to do. But yeah, so that's my little checklist. And I would do this up the week before the week coming into the show, if that makes sense, so that I can then go through and go tick, 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 tick as each day goes by.